Welcome back to day 4 experience of attending Dr. Joe Dispenza's advanced meditation retreat. If you haven't seen the earlier 3 videos, please watch it. It's mind-blowing. Today, I'm going to share with you how was my experience in the 4th morning of walking meditation experience. It was by far the closest experience I had on being closer to God. I had mystical experiences. I was actually so close to my bird angel who had died about 6 months ago, I felt like I was talking to him. I saw my brother-in-law, I saw some mystical images, I saw an angel, and the best part, I was manifesting during that walk that I want to meet Dr. Joe Dispenza and do work with him in India. And believe it, in the middle of the meditation, I got a feeling to open my eyes, and right in front of me was Dr. Joe Dispenza. It was one of the craziest experiences of my life. Because what I learned about the 4D world from him was that in the 4D world, there is no time and space. Manifestation aise pura hota hai. Magical speed. My experience of being in the 4D world on day 4, it was super fast. It was super fast. Manifestation started happening at lightning speed compared to anything that I've experienced before. Even though I'm a manifestation coach and I've got results like this many times in my life, but my own power to manifest things became 10 times faster. It blew my own mind. Like, it was difficult before that to tell me that this is unimaginable. No, I could imagine anything in law of attraction. But after that, the things that I experienced were truly beyond my imagination. Stay today again. Make sure you take a notepad and pen. Watch this entire video till the end to learn how I got into the 4D world, what experiences I had, and what are the experiences of some of my other colleagues over there, which I've shared with you part of the video. Watch the video and tell me how you felt at the end of it. And of course, tell me in the comment section below. I look forward to reading your comments. So yesterday, a little bit of recap. How many of you remember 3 dimensions of our life? One is the normal 3D dimension of our life where you and I all live into, right? Where space and time goes slow. Space and time is all full of matter, and matter is always the slowest vibrations possible, right? So that is the normal 3-dimension world. What is the second dimension? The platinum 4D dimension. So everyone type in P4D in the chat window if you remember that. Platinum 4D dimension is where there is no space, there is no time. And in the platinum space and time, there is everyone there, there is everything there, and everything is happening at the same time, and you can do anything at super fast speed at the 4-dimension world of platinum level. But to get there, you have to go through coherence breathing, if you remember, which is you breathe your heart and your mind at the same time, right? And oh, by the way, I got that EEG machine hooking up to my brain, and I am now able to scan my brain waves, and I know now that I am going to alpha, I'm going to theta, I'm going to gamma. I'm able to measure that. I'll share that data with you in 3 days once I have that data collected. Today, I was using that machine all the time. So point is, when you do coherence breathing, you go into a moment after a few minutes where you are no one, you are nothing, you are nowhere, and you are nobody. And in that moment, you are connected to the 99.9999% of the universe, which is empty space. Because the matter, which is the solid matter, and the 3-dimension world is how much percentage of the universe? If you remember the cells of our bodies, how much percentage of the universe? Only 0.1%. 99 point whatever percent is all empty space. Now, when you say empty, does it mean there is nothing over there? No. There is, what is there? You remember energy and frequency, right? So there is unlimited amount of energy and potential energy there, which can be utilized to manifest into anything that we want in our life. So once you are no one, nobody, nothing, nowhere, and no time, once you are in that frequency, you are connected to that 99% where now you can manifest what? Everyone, everything, everybody, all the time, now, right? And at super fast speed, which is what we call the platinum 4-dimension world. Do you remember that? Now I'll tell you the crazy experience, why I did this recap for you. So today morning, we started the walking meditation. And as usual, he started the walking meditation with that chakra activation energy exercise. We finished that for 10-15 minutes. At the end of that 10-15 minutes exercise, I had some crazy visualizations. So first visualization I had was some beautiful geometrical signs I saw. Signs which are so gorgeous that just looking at those signs, you can go crazy. And they were all beautiful geometrical signs. And Dr. Joe Dispenza had told us yesterday that you will have mystical diagrams seen to you if you connect to that 4-dimension world. So he had informed us about it. So I couldn't believe that I actually saw it. So I saw stars and I saw octagons and I got various kind of signs I saw. Then, yeah, so some of us in India, we call it as yantras, right? Then I saw shivling, which was beautiful. Then I saw a tree in the middle of mist, and that tree was the most beautiful tree. And I saw myself meditating there, and it seemed as if it was a different lifetime. Like it was not, it was me, but in a different lifetime altogether. And there was a hut. There was a beautiful hut, and this was on the top of a mountain, which was full of cloud. I don't know what it was, but it felt so real, as if I've been there. And the moment I said wow to that hut and to that tree, guess what happened? It disappeared. Like the moment I got conscious of it, it just disappeared. And I allowed it to disappear, because now he has taught us that just let the experience keep going. Don't interrupt with it. And then immediately after that, I saw something that for a second scared me. But Dr. Joe Dispenza had told us again and again, which I told you yesterday, be ready for the unknown. Don't be scared of the unknown. Allow the unknown. Because in the unknown world, you will have results which are unimaginable results. Is that making sense to you now? Because magic, if it is in the known world, is not called magic. Then in the known world, what would you call it? If you know how it's going to happen, then it's not magic. Then what is it called? Then it's logic. And logic is in which world? The 3D world or the 4D world? Logic is in the 3D world, where everything works on time and space, right? But if you're looking at super fast speed, then, and if you're looking at magic, 4D, but at the 4D world, you cannot ask how, right? So here's what happened with me. After I saw the hut and the shivling, suddenly in front of me came a lady, and she looked like she was 70s, 80s, maybe even 100-year-old. And she was wearing, anybody seen those dresses which are spaghetti dresses down, like only from chest level? And so it was not even having a string. It was a spaghetti dress. I can still see it clearly. It was a yellow orange with orange color flowers. So it was a yellow dress with orange color flowers on it. I could see her silver hair, but she didn't have a very clear face. It was almost as if she didn't have a face. It looked like a ghost for the first time when I saw it. So for a microsecond, when I saw it was like a ghost. No, it was not a mermaid, by the way. Mermaid kind of had tails and all, right? So it could stand. For a second, I thought, like, what is this? But then I remembered Dr. Joe Dispenza said, allow unknown. And I said, okay, whatever it is, let's just go through it. And I heard a very clear voice that said to me, I'm here to give you blessings. Are you willing to receive it? And I was like, yes. And she took both her hands and she blessed me on the top like this. And I could feel her hands giving me beautiful white light energy. And she said, okay, I'm going from here, and I'm going to go from here to give blessings to the other people here. But I want you to know that I'm always with you. And if you need anything, I'm there. I was like, wow. And she went on this side. So when I turned, I couldn't see now. Like she disappeared. Even though my eyes were closed, I couldn't see her. She just disappeared after that. So that's how that 15 minutes completed. After that 15 minutes completed, and I'll tell you why these mystical experiences can happen and why it happens. That science he explained to us today. I'll explain to you. After that, he said, okay, now open your eyes and walk with purpose. Again, that experience started. And this time I didn't cry. It felt very normal. It felt very real, but it also felt very, very powerful. So I kept walking and I kept walking and I kept walking. And at one point, then I remember I saw my mom merging into me. Then I saw my father merging into me. I saw my brother and I saw my sister. This time I saw Indu merging into me. And at one point, this is something crazy that happened. My whole life, year by year till now, like I could see it as if I was watching a movie. And when I was walking, I was not looking straight. Like I was looking as if I was seeing into something that could show me the movie. I couldn't believe it. I was on the road, I was walking, but I was watching a movie. And I could see my entire life in one go. I could see how every moment of my life had prepared me for who I am today. And then it said, okay, now you've lived this life. Who do you want to be now? So then again, I started saying law of attraction with Indu Mitesh Khatri in every household of this country, in every household of this world. And then I ended up saying after that, law of attraction with Indu Mitesh Khatri and Dr. Joe Dispenza in every household of this country, every household of this world. And I kept saying it, and I kept saying it with intensity. I kept walking. This time my eyes were open, by the way, yes. And I kept walking and I kept walking. And I was not crying this time, but I was filled with joy. I was filled with gratitude, and I was like hypnotized almost. And at one point in the meditation, he says, okay, now stay at one place, close your eyes. So I stood at one place, I closed my eyes. And after about 1 minute, I had this very strong internal voice that said, open your eyes. And then I was like, Dr. Joe Dispenza in my audio didn't say open your eyes, so I didn't open my eyes. Again, I heard the voice, open your eyes. I opened my eyes, and here is what I saw. Okay, get ready to be blown away. You remember I said in the 4D world, there is no time, there is no space, like everything works at super fast speed. You remember that? In front of me was standing Dr. Joe Dispenza, 2 feet away. And what was I visualizing? Hindu law of attraction with Mitesh Khatri and Dr. Joe Dispenza in every household of this country and every household of this world. And I open my eyes, and he's in front of me. And now here is the weird part. He looks at me and he says, come. So I look around and I'm like, is he talking to me? And he says, come, I'll give you a hug. I couldn't believe it. So I gave him a hug, and it was a really, really tight hug. And I went close to his ears and I told him, Dr. Joe Dispenza, I'm getting it. And this is while the music is playing in my ears, so I couldn't even hear him properly. I hugged him very strong. And when I hugged him, I went close to his ears and I said, Dr. Joe Dispenza, I am getting you to India. I promise you, I'm getting you to India. He looked into my eyes and he said, okay. It's like, is this happening? I couldn't believe, like, I was manifesting 30 seconds ago. How can it be so fast? And I just started walking, and then I realized, oh shit, the 4D world just happened. And then here is what happened. As I was walking, the 3D world happened again. And what happened in the 3D world? What happens in the 3D world when you see something so amazing happening at so fast speed? What happens? What kind of emotions do we go through? What kind of thoughts do we go through? Right? Now we start preparing how. Now we start questioning how will it happen? Logic. फिर जाएंगे, फिर ये करेंगे, फिर वो preparation करेंगे. And then I started having all these thoughts and all these emotions and a little bit of doubt also. Will it happen? Will it really happen? And I'm like, hold on. And I took my right hand, and what do you think I did? I gave myself a tapu. I said, are you crazy? Didn't you just see what happened? Go back to the 4D world. And I was like, okay, hold on. So I went back to the 4D world, and I just saw that, okay, he's already come here to India, and we've done a workshop with 5,000 people, and he's finished the workshop, and he's gone back, and on the way in the flight, he's calling us on video call, and he's telling us, thank you so much. I had a great experience, and he had tears of experience sharing that with us, with me and Indu on the phone call. So I saw that, and I let it go. And for 1 second, that thought came, but what if it doesn't happen? And, suddenly the voice said inside me for the first time again, so what if it doesn't happen? Don't be scared of the unknown. Don't be scared of the unknown. Let the unknown happen. If it doesn't happen, that means what you know is not going to happen. Everybody heard that? If it doesn't happen, what you know is not going to happen. And if what you know is not going to happen, then what is going to happen? Something unknown. So what is more powerful? What is more magical? The known or the unknown? The unknown. The known is in the 3D world. What we manifest is in the 3D world. But what is going to happen can be even better. How many of you agree with that? That's the unknown. So I was like, okay, theek hai. Let's just let it go. Unknown. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, great. And suddenly I was able to let go of that attachment again. Then came the time I kept walking, and I kept walking. And remember, at one point in the audio, he says, okay, now lie down. So I lie down, closed my eyes, and he was guiding me in that meditation. And at one point, he said, okay, now raise your vibrations and talk to who do you want to talk to? Who do you want to connect with? And you remember, how many of you know Angel, one of my birds, died a few months ago? I saw Angel so clearly. It was like, you remember yesterday I told you I saw Angel? But yesterday I saw Angel like a white angel around me with big wings. This time I saw Angel in its actual size. Same beautiful small size angel came and sat on my hands. Eyes were clear, body was clear. I kissed it. I could feel it on my lips. I could feel it on my hands. I saw the eyes and I knew it was Angel. And it spoke to me and she said, I'm absolutely fine. And I had tears again and I said, Angel, I'm really sorry because of my mistakes you died. And she said, no, you were supposed to make those mistakes. And I was supposed to come in your life and I was supposed to die because of your mistakes. And I was like, but why? She said, because all the tears that you had after I went was required to melt your heart so that you couldn't learn how to start giving and serving instead of just being in your heart all the time. She said that pain was required for you to go through. And suddenly that made a lot of sense. Because I remember there was a time when Angel died, and about a few days after that, I had said, I promise you, Angel, because of this one mistake that I did with you, I will do everything in my life to give so much to everybody that I can, that I wish I can recover from this one big mistake of not taking care of you properly. And I remembered that statement that I had said because of she dying out of guilt. And she said, you needed that. You needed to go through this guilt. You needed to go through this pain. You needed to go through these tears to melt your heart. And it made a lot of sense. And then she just flew away and she said, don't worry, I'm always connected to you. And then I asked her, I said, do you want to talk to Jeannie? And she smiled and she said, I and Jeannie talk all the time. I was like, okay. And then she went away. And before she was going away, I said, Angel, just hold on 1 second. I don't know if Indu's still here. Yeah, she's here. I told her, I said, Angel, now that you're in this beautiful world of this afterlife, can you connect me to Deepak? Deepak is Indu's brother who had passed away last year. And she said, yes. And the moment she said yes, I felt a tap on my back. And it was Deepak. And he said, Jia ji, main yahi hu. And I had tears. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And in my imagination, I turned and it was actually Deepak. And it was so real. I swear he was there. It was so real. And he said, Jia ji, don't worry, main yahan pe bilkul theek hu. And I said sorry to him because when he had died in the ICU where I was not there with him. And he said, nahi Jia ji, aap bilkul chinta mat karo. I'm completely fine. And I told him, I'm so sorry that you died in a state where you had to give up food, which is what you loved the most. And then he made me smile and he said, Jia ji, chinta mat karo, yahan pe पेटू की तरह खाता हूं और जो चाहिए खाता हूं और यहाँ पे मेरे को एसिडिटी भी नहीं होती. And that was his biggest problem, by the way. And he said, यहाँ पे मैं कुछ भी खाता हूं, मुझे कुछ नहीं होता. And then he showed me something beautiful. He said that he got someone next to him. I couldn't see. It was a beautiful angel-like white color lady. He held her hands and he said, Gigi को बता देना मेरे को partner मिल गई यहाँ पे. And I was like, oh my God. That was one of the only thing that we always worried about him, that he was left alone. And he said, नहीं नहीं यहाँ पे मेरे पास partner है, मेरे को अच्छी लड़की मिल गई है, आप लोग चिंता मत करो, मैं बहुत खुश हूँ. And it was such a crazy experience. I couldn't believe it. So, and he said, please Gigi को बोल देना, मैं बिल्कुल ठीक हूँ, मैं खा पी रहा हूँ, मजे कर रहा हूँ और एकदम मस्त हूँ. And I believed him. After that, he disappeared. And that was the lying experience for me. And at one point, his voice said, open your eyes, come back to this 3D world. And I opened my eyes, I got up, I walked back, and that is how my walking meditation completed today. Oof. How many of you think that was crazy? And I had heard about these kind of stories, but I had never really experienced it at this level. But then today, later during the day, he explained to us why we go through these experiences and what is the science. Like, there is really a science behind it. And I'll explain that science to you in some time. In fact, I'll explain the science to you now, what he told us. He said, what really happens is, when we went into the conference hall, he asked us how many of you had a mystical experience. And most of us raised our hands. He says, the reason you have these mystical experiences is because when you activate your pineal gland, how many of you remember on day one, I had explained the meditation exercise that he does, which helps you activate your third eye, which is basically, he calls it in English, the pineal gland. And there is a part of your brain, by the way, actually, he showed us a video where he showed the real human brain. He cut the human brain and he showed us the pineal gland. And he made a lot of fun. I mean, that's a different story. Kind of made it easy for us to understand. And when you activate that pineal gland, your pineal gland works like an antenna. Now, anybody remembers watching a TV antenna in your childhood, where if you remember कभी कभी टीवी ठीक से नहीं चलता था, तो you remember क्या करना पड़ता था? You go ऊपर, उधर थोड़ा left कर, थोड़ा right कर. Anybody remembers those days? So like a radio antenna or a TV antenna. And he says, you know what TV antennas do? Anybody remembers what TV antennas or radio antennas do? They transmit, they receive, they transmit, they receive, they transmit, they receive. Yes or no? And they receive what? What do they receive? क्या receive करते हैं? Frequency. And that frequency carries what? What does that frequency carry? Information. Everyone write down information. Frequency is never empty. Frequency is always carrying information. What is the proof? The TV and the radios that you watch and hear, it receives that information through that wire in your TV, transforms it into information that you see. Isn't that actually a magical experience that from an antenna, from the satellite, information comes from the air, and nowadays it literally comes on even Wi-Fi, which is not even like right now I'm on Wi-Fi, it's not any wired connection. And on Wi-Fi, are we not transmitting and receiving information which is transforming in the phase of all this Zoom calls and the videos and the audio that you're hearing my voice right now? Internationally in 2 different countries right now? Yes or no? So all of this is happening how? Antenna is there, transmission and receiving is happening. And receiving what? Energy and frequency. What is frequency carrying? Information. This is the information that we're experiencing right now. Is that right? So they say when you are breathing in coherent way, you activate the pineal gland, and the pineal gland actually is like an antenna. And once it gets activated like an antenna, it does what every antenna does. What does every antenna do? Transmit, receive, transmit, receive. But he said the antenna that the pineal gland has is a very special antenna which can tune into what? Tell me again. What can an antenna tune into? Frequency, right? But that pineal gland has the ability to tune into frequency that cannot be experienced by your current senses. What are our 5 senses, everyone? See, hear, right? Taste, smell, right? 5 senses are there. These frequencies cannot be experienced by our 5 senses, but these frequencies can be received by your pineal gland. And what does frequency carry again? Information. But which frequency is the pineal gland connecting to? 3D world of 5 senses or unknown 4D world? What do you think? Unknown 4D world. So he says when you're doing your walking meditation and you're activating your pineal gland in whatever way, because of that, the information that has been received by that pineal gland is of a frequency that is not of this earth. It is not of the 5 senses. It is not of the 3D world. It is of the 4D world. So that is why you start seeing things which are known or unknown. Unknown. Like for me, seeing that tree, hut, shivling, the angel who came in a beautiful dress. Do you really think it's a coincidence that I'm seeing things that I had not known? No, it's an unknown information. But where did this information come from? It came in the form of what? Frequency. Who caught the frequency? The pineal gland has the capacity to tune into that frequency. If the pineal gland is not activated, it cannot tune into that frequency. But to tune into that frequency of the pineal gland activation and to convert it into an antenna properly again, what is the exercise we have to do? Coherent breathing. And when you do coherent breathing, what do? You become what? What do you need to become? Do you need to become a mystic, magical human being? Do you need to become a clairvoyant? What do you need to become? You need to become nothing. Where do we need to be in that moment? Where do we need to go? Where do we need to travel? Nowhere. So you need to be nobody. You need to be no one. You need to be nowhere. You need to be in no time space. And that's the meditative state. And when you forget everything and you're in that zombie state of 99.99% space, that is where the frequency lives. And now because you're vibrating in that coherence breathing, your pineal gland has got into an activation state. And now you are in that 99% mystical state. So because of that, you're experiencing mystical visualizations. You're talking to people who are in a different dimension. You're listening to people who are in a different dimension. Unknown world. Is the logic making sense? Like, is the whole science coming back to you now? Yes or no? Right? So he taught us all this about how this magic works and why this magic works. There was much, 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 much more science that he showed us. And then after that, this whole science that he showed us, he spoke more about coherence breathing. And then we did one more exercise called as the Kaleidoscope meditation, where he would show some images. And anybody's heard about Kaleidoscope? Kaleidoscope is where images, they converge and they diverge. They converge and they diverge. And there are unlimited diagrams that comes into those diagrams. There is no limit in those diagrams. There are unlimited diagrams within those diagrams. Go look it up on Google later. It's called Kaleidoscope. You, in fact, go to YouTube and check, because on YouTube, you'll actually see a video of Kaleidoscope. So what we were supposed to do is we get into a breathing state, get into a proper meditative state, coherence breathing first, then open our eyes. And on the projector screen, he had kept Kaleidoscope video. And just look at that. And those were beautiful diagrams of various geometrical signs in different colors. All of these colors, all of these diagrams are what? Everyone show me your hands again. Frequency. And frequency carries what? Information. He said, when you're looking at that kaleidoscope, and because you're just completed doing coherent breathing, which state are you in? Somewhat state or no what state? Nobody state, right? So first you get into that state. Then you look at the kaleidoscope. So now you're ready again with the pineal gland activated again as an antenna, and the antenna is receiving what? Frequency, and frequency carries what? Information. In front of us was a ready-made frequency of kaleidoscope, which normal human beings cannot make any sense out of it. Like you can just look at it and say, wow, that's it. But who can make sense out of it now? The antenna receiving information. He said, just look at it. And then after looking at it for about 3-5 minutes, he says, okay, close your eyes again. And now again, you'll go through mystical experiences. And I did. I went through crazy experiences again. So one of the experiences I had here was, I saw brain, like how human brain is there. I saw huge human brain coming like this and connecting to my brain, left and right hemisphere. And it was like a huge world brain size connected to my brain. And I heard a voice. And that voice said, now the information of the entire universe is connected to you. Whatever you want will always be accessible to you. Whenever you need something, just ask. I had goosebumps. I was like, what is this crazy stuff going on? So I said, chalo yaar, ek baar puchne mein kya jata? Let's ask for some information. So how many of you know I've been talking about this law of attraction franchisee thing for more than a year, but I've not been able to figure out a win-win way of making it happen. So for some reason, it has not crystallized yet. So I asked, I said, I really want to somehow help Platinum members to take this science and take it forward, but I'm not able to come up with a beautiful system where they can also make money and the content doesn't get diluted and things don't go wrong, and they are also on the right path, and I keep supporting them, but I don't know how to do this. Can you help me? And the voice said, you've asked, now the answer will appear on its own time. Forget about it. I was like, okay, forget about it. And then after 5-10 minutes, the meditation completed. I saw some more geometrical signs. I saw some beautiful signs. And this time, because I was experiencing it for the second time, I was peaceful with it. And then we opened our eyes. And now listen to the zombie part. You remember I told you in the 4D world, things happen how fast? Right? So next to me, so this was a lying down meditation, by the way. So next to me was lying down another lady who's become very good friends with me for the last 4 days. When you go to events like these, you make friends, like you guys made friends in Platinum. So we've got a group of 4 people here. One guy, there's another guy called Prabhakar and me. So Prabhakar is from Dubai. There's another lady called Lavona. She's also from Dubai. She stays in Dubai. And there's another lady, she's from Pakistan. So 4 of us became really good friends. So she was lying next to me. I got up, she got up. And then we are supposed to share our experience with each other. And Levona says, Mitesh, I got a very clear message. I said, okay. She said, I heard a voice and it asked me to ask you something. I said, ask me? She said, yeah. And she said, it's also related to me. I was like, okay, what do you want to ask? And she said, I don't know why I have this very strong feeling that the work that you do, I should take a franchise of that in Dubai. And I had a very strong voice to ask you, will you offer me that franchisee? And can I take copyright license of your material? I was standing, just stood down. I didn't know how to react. I was like, kya ho raha hai? Morning, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Now this, I, it was too fast. And she said, I'll pay you whatever royalty you want. I said, hold on, let me share something with you. And then I shared with her what I asked for. And the voice said, when the right time comes, you'll get answers and somebody will connect with you. Then she blew away. She was like, what? You actually heard the same thing? I said, yeah. And this was like after 30 seconds, we got up and she's telling me all this. It was a crazy, crazy experience. So that was my experience in that meditation. And then again, after that, he taught us some more science about coherence breathing. And here's a beautiful science that he taught us about coherence breathing, which is again what answered me a question about why do we have magical experiences in the Ho'oponopono experience? How many of you remember in the Ho'oponopono Healers course, many times I ask people, okay, who wants to go through healing? And then I ask, okay, tell me what is the emotion, for how long you're going through it, and for what is the intensity right now? Do you remember that? And I purposely take which kind of a person? The person who has high negativity or low negativity? Who do I always take? High negativity. And who do I select? Someone who's been experiencing for the last 1 hour in time? Or somebody who says, I've been going through it like many years? Or somebody says, last 5 days, this pain is just not stopping, right? I usually take those people, right? And every time somebody says, for the last 10 days, I haven't slept. And I'm like, okay, interesting. Let's take this. Like, I always take those cases. Have you seen that? And every time I do Ho'oponopono, I don't know why I have this feeling that it'll go away. And how many of you have attended multiple Ho'oponopono batches? And in that 3-5 minutes, that person says, Arey, it's gone. And then they look for it. Like it really, really is gone. And then I check with them in the afternoon. I check with them next morning. It doesn't come back. So all the answer I had was, it works. Right? But I didn't have a scientific explanation. Why does it work? Correct? So then here is the science. How many of you want to know the science now? This is the crazy part. So he shared that sometime in 1940s, there was a scientist who came to know that the human body has electromagnetic field. How many of you remember when you rub your hands? Do it now. Rub your hands together. You feel this electromagnetic energy between your hands, also called as static energy. Do you remember that? And that is why people take this and then they kind of put it on their face because it feels fresh, because you're energizing yourself with energy which is not only generated from your body, but it's externally around you all the time. So point is, he says, the scientists discovered that our body has electromagnetic field. So he started doing research on machines that could visualize electromagnetic field around us. Now, what are these machines called? Anybody knows what he's talking about? What he's calling electromagnetic field. In India, what do we call it? Come on, guys. Aura. Isn't an aura nothing but just an electromagnetic field around us all the time? Yes or no? Correct? So basically, he ended up making an aura scanning machine. Everybody got this? Now, here is the crazy part. This, as you know, scientists, they always kind of do experiment with one type of people, right? So he selected women who had uterus cancer. And he did experiment of scanning their electromagnetic field vis-a-vis aura scanning for more than 1,000 ladies. And he found something very crazy. He found, and he purposely took two types of ladies. Ladies who had uterus cancer, and guess what? Ladies who didn't have uterus cancer. 1,000. So thousands of people were there. The ladies, all, not 90%, 100% of the ladies who had uterus cancer, in their electromagnetic field, there was a specific type of pattern. All 100% ladies had that. All 100% ladies. So that means uterus cancer could be seen in the electromagnetic field. Is that clear? So he thought that when cancer happens, it alters the aura. I'm repeating, when cancer happens, it alters the aura. So what he's saying is something inside your body, which is made of matter, has changed what? Your energy, your frequency. Yes or no? But then he was blown away. He said when he did a research on the other 1,000 ladies who did not have uterus cancer, in that he found Many ladies, he said about 60 to 70% ladies in that 1,000 people group were those ladies who had the same electromagnetic pattern but no uterus cancer. So he got confused. 1,000 ladies have uterus cancer, same pattern in the electromagnetic field. 6, 7 other 100 ladies, no uterus cancer, but the pattern is there. After 1 to 2 years, these guys, they do research for many years, right? He said, after a couple of years, I found out all the ladies who did not have uterus cancer, but had the electromagnetic field pattern, got uterus cancer after 2 years. 100% of them. So now question is, did the cancer create the electromagnetic field? Or did the electromagnetic field create the cancer? Yes, that was the science that proved that it is our energy that creates matter. It is not matter that creates energy. It is energy that creates matter. And he proved it to us that our electromagnetic energy, which is the energy around us, which is connected to the universe, because obviously, if I have electromagnetic field, am I generating that field? No, I'm not generating that field. It is connected to something outside, which is in the 4D world. How do we know that? When we die, is the electromagnetic field still there in the body? If you take the same person's body, put him through aura scanning machine, do you think you'll be able to find out that electromagnetic field anymore? No, the field is gone. But is the person dead as per Bhagavad Gita, as per law of attraction, as per quantum physics? At the energy level, do we ever die? No. So that means that electromagnetic field is somewhere alive. How many of you agree with that? But if it is alive, that means it has gone to something in somebody, somewhere. Yes or no? So that means originally, was it generated by me? Was it generated by this body? No. It is the electromagnetic field that generated this body and created this body. Are you getting it? It's the energy that created matter, not matter that created energy. That is why when body is dead, energy is still alive, because the energy was the source. And where is this energy? Is this energy independent of its own? Is this aura alone on its own? No, it's connected to the whole universe. That's the 4D world. In the 4D world, who's connected? Everyone. So this energy, is it any more your energy once it is gone out of your body? No, it's connected to whom? Everyone. Where is it? Everywhere. What can it do? Everything. When can it do? Now and every time. Right? So he says it was scientifically proven that electromagnetic field has frequency, and frequency carries what? This is the new word that he's been repeating again and again and again. Frequency carries what? Information. So he said, through this scientific experiment, it was proven that ladies who did not have cancer, if they had the electromagnetic field with the pattern of uterus cancer, eventually got cancer because the information of the cancer was there in the electromagnetic field. Everybody clear? Now, here comes the second part. So if I want to heal the lady from cancer, where do I have to heal? In the body or in the electromagnetic field? Where do I have to heal it? In the electromagnetic field, in the aura. Yes or no? And can you change frequency? Yes. Can you change energy levels? Yes or no? Yes. Can you access your aura? How do you do it? Coherence breathing. Activate your pineal gland. Do Ho'oponopono. By the way, do you think doing Ho'oponopono puts you into a different stance, a different trance, where you feel sometimes you feel like crying out of no reason when you do Ho'oponopono? How many of you agree with that? Why? Because Ho'oponopono is made of what? Frequency. Frequency carries what? Information. And that frequency activates you into that coherence breathing, probably activates your pineal gland. I'm guessing it, but we'll experiment it and we'll prove it through scientific experiments. But I'm guessing it does that. How do we know? Because we see magical results in Ho'oponopono every time. Yes or no? So now he says, if you do something like Ho'oponopono, or you do something like Reiki, or you do something like pranic healing, or you do the Dr. Joe Dispenza meditation, it really doesn't matter, he said. He said, what matters is, are you changing what? The body or the frequency? The frequency. And what do we keep saying in all our workshops when people ask me, what do I do with my problems? Stop solving, start evolving. Like, you don't even need to work on taking a medicine for your headache first. Like, that is also a problem. Don't solve your problem. Do what? Upgrade your frequency. Everything made sense. How many of you agreeing? Everything makes sense now, right? And he says, in that electromagnetic field, that information of cancer is already there. He said, if you do coherent breathing and you go into becoming no one, nothing, nobody, nowhere at this point of time, you suddenly have access to the 4D world. And in the 4D world, who can you become? Anyone. When? Anytime. And who can you connect to? Anybody. How fast? Magic, right? He says, so you go into the 4D world and you heal that aura. Isn't this manifestation? So what do we do in Ho'oponopono? I'm guessing what we do in Ho'oponopono is we go into coherence breathing. And if you probably do the same experiments that Dr. Joe Dispenza did on bodies of these human beings, I'm guessing that while doing Ho'oponopono, if you hook on an EEG and you do some blood reports, I'm pretty sure after doing Ho'oponopono, the blood reports will change. Because the energy information has changed into the cellular level, and blood is made of what? Cells. White blood cells and red blood cells. Yes or no? So the information changes inside the blood cells. So the pattern inside the blood cells change, starts healing the brain. At an electromagnetic field, you have visualized, I am already healed. You remember I showed you the example today morning of at the electromagnetic field, at the 4D world, I started saying, Dr. Joe Dispenza and I are doing workshops together. Do you remember that? How fast was he in front of me? Like that, I couldn't believe it. Like that fast. But then the question comes when you finish your manifestation, but will it really heal? Okay, so what do I have to do to heal it? What do you do? What do you need to do to heal it? In the 4D world, what do you need to do to heal it? Nothing. Now you understand the science of surrender. Okay, why surrender? Why let go? Because you're supposed to access the 4D world by becoming nothing. And that is surrender. Is that right? So he said, if you do that and you visualize that the person is healed, the person is healed, the person is healed, that information, because it has changed in the electromagnetic field, it transforms the body and it heals the body. So he prepared us with all this information, and then he told us to stand up and start breathing coherently. And they had already selected some people who wanted to be healies. Some people who had diabetes, blood pressure, paralysis attack, couldn't walk, heart problems. Some people had cancer. All type of cancers were there. There were 60 some plus diseases in the room. So they had taken all these healies, the worst type of patients, and they were lying down, and we were divided into six people ka group. How many of you remember in Ho'oponopono, we do one of the techniques called remote healing technique? How many of you do remember remote healing, right? Like the person doesn't do Ho'oponopono, we just do Ho'oponopono for him in a group. Do you remember that? And every single batch, have you seen magic happening? Yes or no? You have, right? So that's what happened today. In the coherence breathing, this person was lying down and we were into this meditative state. And then we were keeping our hands focusing towards the person. We were healing, that the person is already healed. The person is already healed. Are we healing him at the physical level? Are we healing him in the 3D world? Are we healing his or her body? No. What are we healing? His frequency, his aura, his electromagnetic field, right? So we are healing the person, but not the physical body of the person, but the energy body of the person. Is that clear now? And when we did that, a lot of people had crazy experiences. Like the person whom we were with was fine. She had tears, but she was fine. And she got up and she said she had lungs problem and she couldn't breathe properly before the healing. She said, after that, I'm able to breathe very, very clearly. Beautifully, she was able to breathe. So that was good. But that kind of results, we've seen it in Ho'oponopono also. There was a lady lying down next to me. She started having seizures. Like, anybody knows what seizures are? Your body goes into a frenzy and you go into crazy experience. Now, Dr. Joe Dispenza said that is not seizures. He says what has happened is because of this healing, what is changing around the body? What is changing? Frequency, right? The electromagnetic field is changing. He says, technically speaking, you have taken an 800cc called Maruti car, okay, which has how much battery power? 800cc. And he says, now you have turbocharged that with aeroplane power when you did all this healing. So he says, at the cellular level, He says, imagine that you've taken and you like you cranked up the electricity. So everybody imagine, take your hands like this, everyone. Imagine there is an electricity switch in front of you. Put your hands in it. You'll get a 440 volts. What is going to happen to your body? Right? But is it because you're going mad? No, you're overcharged. How many of you get what I'm saying now? You're overcharged. So he said, don't worry. She's overcharged. She'll be fine. And that time, some people came and they said, no, she's possessed and she's getting a ghost. She's getting booed. Some people actually came and asked for a refund. Can you believe? They said, we want to get out of here. This is something wrong happening. Dr. Joe Dispenza said, okay, take a refund and go. And then somebody asked, but what do we do with this lady? He said, what do you do when somebody gets an electric current which is more than the capacity of the body? What do you do? Hello, what do you do? No, you do something. What do you do? If a person is getting an electric shock and you want to get them back to normal, what do? You give them some wood. But why do you give them wood? What does the wood do? What does the wood do? It takes the extra charging of that electricity into its element of wood, grounds the person back. Yes or no? He says, who's the wood in the room? We. He says, 4 or 5 people go there, slap the hell out of that lady, she'll come back. He literally said, slap the hell out of her. She'll come back in the normal world. Right now, she's in the 4D world. And her body is not able to handle it. So that was actually the truth, by the way. She was shivering like crazy. 4 or 5 people who were in the group who were healing her, they went close to her, they touched her. She was still shaking. These guys started getting scared and they started crying. And Dr. Joe said, you can continue crying, but hold her. Like you're the wood. And they kept holding her. And eventually she got discharged. And she came back to normal life. She came back to 3D world. She opened her eyes. And she looked. Here's the weird part, okay? She looks at everyone. She says, why are you touching me? And everybody's looking at her like, don't you know what happened? So one person actually asked, like, you don't know what happened? She's like, what happened? The lady had no idea what she went through. Okay? She was in the 4D world completely zombied out. She had no idea what was going on. So we have another friend who's a Pakistani girl in my group. She's going through this. For the last 3 days, whatever meditation we do, when we finish, we have to share with each other. So when we ask her, what did you go through? Say, I don't know. I don't know where I was. She disappears every single time. She doesn't remember anything she does in a meditation. But the point is that if the brain is not ready for that level of energy, this can happen to the body. But is that a side effect? Can you call it a negative effect, like a medicine? No, it's not a side effect. It's natural. The body's just not able to handle that energy. Now, once she came back to the 3D world, here is the best part that Dr. Joe Dispenza said. He said, is she the same lady? Hello? No. Tell me what has changed. Her frequency has changed. The information in her electromagnetic field has changed. Do you think she's going to heal? Of course. Now, haven't we seen the proof of that in DMP, in Hope, Nope, No all the time? Raise your hands. Yes or no? It's all the time there. It is just that we didn't know why it was happening. Now I know the science. So that was the end of the day. And a lot of people had amazing healing experiences. I think tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we'll come to know the results of these healings. I will share with you because right now we just did the healing part and then we left. It is now 9 p.m. here. And guess what time we get up? 3 a.m. in the next 6 hours. Yeah, 6 hours. Because we are supposed to meet in the conference hall at 3:45 a.m. Because it seems the actual pineal gland activation exercise we are going to do tomorrow morning. So I said, 3 दिन से क्या करा रहा था ये? So I really don't know what's going to happen tomorrow morning. But he said 4 o'clock because we all know in India why 4 o'clock. Anybody remembers why 4 o'clock? Brahma Muhurat, right? Everybody knows this. Like everything he's teaching, we already know. It's there in the mythology of India. How many of you agree with that? Right? And he was telling me, he said the first time he discovered through scientific experiments that the best time is to do this kind of a pineal gland activation at 4 o'clock in the morning because of the frequency and all of that. He didn't say Brahma Muhurat, he said frequency and all of that language he used. So he said, I realized that because it is going to be 4 o'clock, he decided to wake up at what time? He said the best time is between 3 to 4 in terms of scientific frequency. So what time do you think he got up? Make a guess. How many of you said 3 o'clock? He says, I'm not used to waking up early, so I got up at 3:55. Well, he said, Kam se kam Brahma Muhurat haath se to nahi jayega. In his language, he said, at least the frequency won't go out of my hands. But he really got up at 3:55 and he got the meditation himself, and then he shared how crazy experiences that he went through, and he had an out-of-body experience where he saw himself traveling out of his body and going to different places, talking to extraterrestrial beings, and because of number of years of practice, his ability to access the 4D world has become normal now, right? Like, for how many of you now doing Ho'oponopono and healing somebody is just normal now? Raise your hands. Like, many times in DMP, people come and say, you know what, sir, you won't believe it, I got a job. And I'm like, really? And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, it happens every day. For how many of you, when you hear this magic, I mean, of course, you're happy, but is it unbelievable to you? It's not, because you and I live in this world every day, right, of law of attraction. In fact, I find it very funny. The person joins law of attraction yesterday, learns from me to believe in magic, gets the magic today and tells me, sir, you won't believe what happened. I said, yes, I really can't believe what happened. But you and I, we have got used to this magic now. Yes or no? Just like that, Dr. Joe Dispenza has got used to the 4D world. Like in my case, do you think I'm getting used to the 4D world today? Yeah, like those diagrams that I'm seeing, the lady that I saw, and I saw Deepak, and I saw my bird angel, and I heard all these conversations, the brain connecting to me, and now I'm getting used to it. It's like, oh, this is normal. Like, this is okay. And the weirdest part is, in the group, we are 4 people, and guess how many people are getting this experience? Only me. So the other 3 people are going crazy. They're getting FOMO. Okay? Like, why am I not seeing things? Except only Livona saw that one thing which was related to the franchisee thing. That's it. But she said, otherwise, they're just, I mean, they're getting overwhelming joy, gratitude, love, all that frequency is happening, but they're not having all these mystical experiences. So that is where Dr. Joe Dispenza explained. He said, the difference between the person who gets the mystical experience and doesn't get the mystical experience is the person who does the exercise one more time. Just one more time, and just one more time, and just one more time, and just one more time. And he says, just keep doing it. You just keep doing it. When your what is ready, you will experience it. When your what is ready, your frequency. Look, yes, we are all learning law of attraction. Yes, we are all learning meditation from Dr. Joe Dispenza and all of that. But do we say, are we all at the same level right now? No. So when you apply the same thing and I apply the same thing, is it going to work at a different speed for both of us? Yes or no? Depending on our current what? Frequency. Is that making sense now? Right? So one of the things you should not do is kind of compare all of this, right? And while all of this was going on, I think one of the best things that I really got guaranteed to is don't get too worried about how. Like, really don't worry about the how part, because that is the 3D world. If you really believe in that 4D world, there was one more question that came to me, that what if it really doesn't happen? Like the Dr. Joe Dispenza dream that I saw of he coming to India and all. What if it really doesn't happen? And I was thinking that, and you remember I told you that brain and said, you can ask anything. So I had this question going on, that what if it doesn't really happen? So I asked this question to the brain and I said, can you tell me what happens if this dream doesn't really come to happen? Again, I got the answer. He said, the answer will come to you. I said, okay. So the break happened. We went for lunch. This was during lunchtime. And I was having lunch, and there's this new guy who's not part of the group suddenly comes and sits on the table. Nobody else comes. Only this guy comes. He's from India. His name is Jatinder. And so we generally start talking. And out of nowhere, we are talking about why, like, some goals achieve fast, some goals don't achieve fast. And Shireen, who's sitting next to me, this Pakistani girl, she said, but ऐसा भी तो हो सकता है ना कि जो हम visualize कर रहे हैं वो ना हो. Jatinder gives an answer which blew my mind, and I knew it was the universe talking to me. He says, इस जन्म में नहीं होगा ना, हमारे पास तो 4D वर्ल्ड के हिसाब से अनलिमिटेड जन्म है, तो सीड तो हमने बो दिया, तो अगले जन्म में आ जाएगा, जल्दी क्या है, कुछ इस जन्म में कर लो, कुछ उस जन्म में कर लो. एंड आई वाज लाइक, हे भगवान, आधे घंटे के अंदर ऐसा जवाब आया कि मेरा दिमाग उड़ गया. I was fused out. I didn't even say anything to him because, like, how do I explain to him? I asked this question half an hour earlier. I just didn't say anything. I said, okay, I got the answer, boss. Because then, and then he continued saying, he said, वैसे भी हम बहुत सारी चीजें डिसाइड करते हैं करने के लिए, सब कुछ एक ही दिन में होता है क्या, कुछ आज होता है, कुछ कल होता है, कुछ परसों हो जाता है ना, तो जल्दी क्या है, आज थोड़ी मर रहे हैं, अगर मर भी गए तो अगला जन्म तो है ना, हम तो 4D वर्ल्ड में. I said, boss, I am convinced I got the answer. So this is how then, when you connect to this magical world, you can communicate to your angels, you can communicate to your this higher terrestrial world so powerfully that you can literally start having normal conversations and you'll start getting answers around you. All right, so that is the end of my day. With that, thank you so much, guys, for joining us once again. Early morning over there, late evening over here, those of you who are joining from US. Okay, talk to you tomorrow evening. I don't know what's going to happen 4 o'clock in the morning. I have never done that except Vipassana. I went to Vipassana last time and I got up at 4 o'clock and did meditation over there. It was crazy. And now this guy wants me to do more crazy business in the morning. And all of this was happening because of you guys, because I came here only because I wanted to do something more for Platinum. But I had no idea he's going to make me up at 3:45 a.m. in the morning for that. But chalo, ye bhi karke dekhte hain. Let's see what happens tomorrow morning. I'll share a whole experience with you tomorrow evening. Okay? All right. How was that day 4? Crazy, right? Some of the things must be even unbelievable, na? I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised if you're saying, ये सब ऐसा थोड़ी होता है, must be psychological, आपको ऐसे ही कोई भ्रम हो रहा होगा. मुझे भी ऐसे ही लगा था कि ये भ्रम ही हो रहा है. But when you experience something 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, it was mind blowing. अब मुझे पता चल गया कि this 4D world is real, right? So stay tuned with me, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon quickly. Then you'll get the notification for my day 5 video. The day 5 video is where you're going to learn even more powerful experiences that I had. What? I'll tell you that in the day 5. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon and tell me in the comment section, what was your favorite learning? What was your favorite experience about my experience from Dr. Joe Dispenza's workshop of day 4? See you on day 5.